Good morning, Terry. Hump day, a little bit of internet signals, just waiting for my internet signal to catch up. And no, it is lately, Terry. I'm like a minute or two behind constantly. And you ever get one of those kind of streaks where you're just a little bit behind?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was behind all day long because it was 105 degrees outside and PG&E shut down the power for 3 hours. I lost
Oh,
everything.
hey, Charles, how you doing today, my man? We had a good start. I had a good start yesterday. And then, I kind of tumbled down the hill afterwards. Got
Yeah.
that long shot home at 11-1. And then, what's sad is that, and I know you go through this, Charles. I know you go through this. I know every handicapper goes through this, but you're ranking your horses, and the difference between, 3 and 4 at that point in time, you're looking just for, your third pick and your fourth pick. Incremental things decide which one goes third or fourth.
Hmm.
And had I made my fourth pick, my third pick, I would have had like that $1,200 pick four to get started on the hot dog. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Because in that first race, I hit the superfecta. And then in the second race where you missed it, my second choice won and paid a pretty good price. So that's, if we were combining tickets or if somebody combines our tickets, they could probably got uh,
Yeah, I
that
know
big.
Charles had mentioned that he did do some consensus picks for you and I, and he hit the I think the exact or the double early on. So hopefully that paid enough for you. And I know you said you had it about 10 times, something like that, Charles. So that's a good way to get started. Today, I don't know what it is, Terry, but we're both sporting the 11s, but a little bit different versions.
Yep.
So which 11 looks better? I don't know. I like them both, right? But
Yeah,
maybe
they
your
look
hat looks
both good,
better.
but mine looks better.
You think so?
Well, you can see the HRT. Oops.
That's on the wrong
HR.
side. There you
Oh, who
go.
knows?
Yes, yes, yes. It's he went that away for sure. Well, the
That's
way
right.
we're going to go today is to Canterbury Park today, Terry. They got a lot of big races, but before we head off to Canterbury Park today, last night we had on another fantastic guest on Horse Center. That was Erica Herforth, young jockey out of Louisville, right now running at Churchill Downs. Really fun story of young lady that does. I don't know it, do some people have more than 24 hours in a day? Because it sure seems like she does.
I wish I had more than 24 hours in a day because I sure need it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, she does exercise riding. She goes to the gym. She runs. She reads. I mean, I don't know when she has time to actually do anything else, but apparently she's got a lot of time in the course of the day. All right, so let's get going with our day today. Race number one at Canterbury Park on a day where they have 5 stakes races, 4 of which have purses of at least $100,000. So very big day over there. And some of these races, quite frankly, Terry, if we make it through this card and do well, we should get paid because some of these races are very, very difficult.
Yeah, they are. They're hard. I'll tell you that right now.
Nice card today at Canterbury. Absolutely. Really, it's some tough, tough, tough races that, I mean, you really had to think through. All right. So 6 furlongs on the opening race today. It's a maiden 30,000. It's not one of those stakes races, obviously. But when we look at the profile of a winner, they've run 27 races at 6 furlongs so far, Canterbury, 21 of which were won by speed, 12 went wire to wire. There is a strong rail in a strong 8+ bias, and you're going to take that bias immediately.
I am. I'm going to take number one, taking charge Desi. She ran third in her last race. Earned an early speed running style. Oh, I'm sorry. Her early speed running style will help her chances, and she'll improve at this shorter distance. Yeah, I like number five, Bombera Gold. She ran second versus similar in her last race. Has the highest last race speed rating. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11 starts. And then I like number four, Jet In with Class. She switches to a high percentage winning jockey and drops in class today. Then I like number two, May Disco. She was off slow and was 4 wide in the turn in her last start, finishing fourth, but I think she may do better today.
Terry, question here, Charles, you as well. Not Laura says she's not familiar with capping Canterbury, and where does this track stack up in relation to Penn National grade? Similar or step up? Thank you. I think based upon the horses that come, they tend to come from like Tampa. Some come up from Churchill Downs. So I would say it's probably a slight grade ahead. Would you agree or disagree, Terry?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit higher bet than Penn National. Yeah, I do.
Would you agree with that, Charles, and anybody else who is familiar with the track circuit? I think it's just a little bit above, right? It's I would probably put it on like this. It's like a Midwest version, maybe of things help me lately is profile handicapping horses that are in position in the stretch and come out fast fractions early at Canterbury. So guys who are, yeah, and a lot of my handicapping today was kind of centered around horses with some late kick that are going to be close. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's a B track, and I think Penn National is probably a C track somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. So anyway, for me, looking at race number 1, I'm going to go with number 4 as my top choice. Worked for me yesterday, so what the heck? Let's go 2 for 2.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it'll work. Yeah.
This one is coming in off a very big drop in class. Track drop as well from Churchill Downs. I think you're going to see a lot of Churchill, a lot of fairgrounds horses today in here. And this one has some improving workouts. So if you're looking at the workout line at Canterbury since arriving from Churchill, it's getting better and better and better and better. Taking charge, Desi, some improvement early in the second, start off the bench. Similar fractions at 6.5 furlongs last time out versus 5.5 furlongs the time before that. Number 5, Bambara Gold. It's another making her third start off a layoff. Some regression last time out. Sometimes in that second race they regress. Maybe they bounce back in the third race, and which was the same pattern that it had last time. However, it came out, ran its best race, regressed in the second race, regressed in the third race. So, I don't trust that Bambara Gold's going to bounce back up here. And then finally, number 2, May Disco. Terry was a big disco dancer back in the day. He had on the silk shirt, unbuttoned down here, the chains, doing all the, right, Terry?
Yeah.
But May Disco might not be doing this, but definitely the last race was better than it looks on paper. Had better 6.5 furlong times than it had at 6 furlongs. Delaware Park, ABD. We don't today, Yashin, the Terry's best bet of the day is Delaware Park. And we don't have our full picks. If you want picks at Delaware Park today, head on over to Horse Race Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You can find all the picks you need over there. Tomorrow, we'll be doing Delaware Park. I know normally we do Delaware Park on Wednesday, but because of the big races today at Canterbury Downs, to Canterbury Park, we went that way. All right, race number 2, Terry. Back out of your disco days into your handicapping days. 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming $75,000. So a really nice race here too. 6.5 furlongs, 17 races so far, 11 of which were won by speed, 3 going wire to wire. Once again, we find an inside 3 bias and a discount in post 4 through 7. So of course, I make my best bet a 5 horse in here, XL. I think of all of the horses on the card, this one is your most likely single that you want to put a circle around. So I just jinxed its chances right there. This one should have its way as an EP horse with the lone E horse being the 4, and the 4 horse doesn't have anywhere near the early pace that the 5 horse has. So I think the 5 horse gets to the lead here and does not look back, Terry. Yeah. It is also the start of your box set up where we take 4 horses, put them together, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I agree with you. Number 5 XL. He won his last race at Canterbury Park. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 starts. Yeah, I like number 2, Shadowless. He ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer who wins 30% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite to race again. Then I like number 6 is my third pick, Lockmore. He finished in the money in his last 4 races, winning 1 of those. Then number 1, Magic Revolution. He finished in the money in the last 3 races, winning 1 of the starts, and the rail post is winning at a 20% clip.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So hopefully you bring home the superfecta like you did yesterday with your box set up, Terry. I was kind of surprised, though. You had a $16 horse come in second, and the payouts were kind of low considering. I mean, the exacta paid less than the $1 exacta paid less than the horse did the show, which I found was really weird. Now, you normally don't see that.
No, you don't. But probably because that hard favorite one paid 240, I think, to win or something like that.
Yeah, but still, I think you should still get better than that. That's
Yeah,
the
you
thing
should.
about small pools, man. If you don't get the right size pools, anyway, for race 2, I mentioned Excel as my best bet of the day, the most, I think, logical winner on the entire card. Number 2, Shadowless is my second choice, just like you, Terry. Maybe I should have boxed this one up too. I think the 2 horse is going to chase the 5 horse all the way around the track and does not have what it takes to pass them. So they're going to go out of the gates 1, 2, and you're going to see them go from beginning to end. Number 6, Lockmore is also my third choice. Tough call over the 4 for me, but ran better numbers at Oaklawn Park than Citrus Bay ran at Oaklawn Park. And I still think he's run less races than Citrus Bay. So I think that gives him more upside. And then finally, Citrus Bay was a tough call for me over the 3 horse because Lockmore, Citrus Bay has run better numbers at Oaklawn Park than Pure Rocket ran at Oaklawn Park. So, boys that wear red hats are named Steve. Steve has, this guy's name is Steve. He's wearing a red hat. It's one of those SAT type questions that used to confuse the hell out of me.
Yep.
That's right. Let's see where Mike. Good morning, Mike. How are things in Texas, my friend? Kind of hot down there, I'm sure, but we're getting a little bit of that Texas weather up here in Chicago too. Terry was mentioning he got 104 yesterday at so you and I were sharing temperatures like 102, 100 degrees out here yesterday. Very nice weather. Off to the beach with my dog. Fun time. You know that, Terry, I don't know about you, but the 100-degree weather does not bother me a lick.
Well, it's okay unless they shut my power down for 3 to 4 hours.
Well, I mean, even outside, it doesn't bother me a lick.
Yeah, we set out. Once they did that, we set outside for an hour or two just because it's a little cooler outside. So,
race number 3, Terry, it's cooler. It's 100 degrees outside and it's cooler. Now that's almost funny.
Well, there's a little breeze. That was what was helping because you sweat and then the breeze would cool you down a little.
Race 3 is 1 mile on the turf. It is the Curtis Sampson Oaks, the beginning of the 100 or the first of the $100,000 races. There's quite a few of them today, too, at a mile on a turf. So pay attention to these early races at a mile on the turf to see how they play out because it might help you in the back half of the card when there's just 1 mile race after another on the turf. But this one so far, 24 races, 13 won off the pace. 5 of the speed winners went wire to wire. Once again, we find a very strong inside 3 bias, and 8+ is a little bit better than 4 through 7. And in my notes, I wrote down, this is a hard race. So I'm going to go ahead with the higher odds just so I get paid if I'm correct. This is my long shot of the day. So I'm going to have a best bet, long shot, daily double, Latin Nikita. Last time out, Charles, this is kind of goes back to what you were saying. Had some blowout late pace numbers in that last race. It was the top last race speed figure, and it was at Canterbury Park. Horse is also a pretty good fan of the distance. Out 3 times at a mile, 2 wins, and a third. You don't even have the 12 on your picks, Terry.
I do not. This is a pretty wide open race. And so I started with the number 10, Ellie of the Ball. She won her last race at Churchill Downs and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. So she marks a couple of the good boxes off. And then number 3, Sky High Susan. She has won 2 out of her last 3 races.
She should see help.
Huh?
She should get help.
Yeah. Yeah. And then number 13 is my third choice, Blissful. She won her debut race at Saratoga and has a bullet workout on June 12th. And then number 5, Shamoch. She finished 3rd in her last race and won 2 of her last 4 races.
I think if Terry had his way, he would just press the all button here.
I would have, yes.
So I like Ella of the Ball as my second choice, Terry, as well. This one broke its maiden last time out, maiden special weight, $120,000 at Churchill Downs. So this is actually running for less money today than it did last time out. This one's been good on the turf, out on the turf 2 times with a win and a third. Yes, number 5, Schlofmitz. It sounds like a German word, right?
Yep.
Schlofmitz. Now we got it right. Won his last, was an optional claiming $80,000 at Churchill Downs on the first try on grass. but its numbers weren't as good as the 10 horse Ellie of the Ball, so you have to put it behind there. But has increased its speed figure 3 in a row. So if it makes it 4 in a row, could be enough maybe to get by. And then finally, number 1 is my last choice in here. When the Dawn Breaks, gets the high win rate rail. Probably faced the toughest competition last out compared to any other horse in this field. Does have the top connections of Brad Cox and Florent Garou, who I think are winning at like 34% so far with a positive ROI, which is hard to believe considering how strong both are. This horse has been racing better than the 13, which was a tough call for me. But the interesting thing about that 13 horse, Terry, it ran at Saratoga like, I don't know, about a year ago, won its debut, really nice speed figure. And then I went back and looked at all of the other horses in that race to see if any of them actually followed up with anything, and none of them did. So they all struggled afterwards. Just key the ship in jocks and go on the bank. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that because you got to figure that they're coming in on their better horses. Race number 4 is another one just like the last one, Terry. It's not mile, though. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. Dark Star Turf Sprint Stakes, another $100,000 at stake here. 5 furlongs so far at Canterbury Downs. The winners have looked like this. 13 races, 8 of which were won by speed. 4 went wire to wire. You do have a post position inside 3 bias and an 8+ bonus. 4 through 7 suffer. Looking at this race, though, man, Terry, again, breaking out like the pace, there is just a ton of early speed in this race. A lot of it's on the outside. I think it's going to be a really tactful race for the jockeys. If you're on the inside and you have speed, you got to go because you can't let the other horses shuffle you back. And if you're on the outside, you got a lot of speed to your inside, so you might have to run too fast. So this is going to be, I think, a really, really fun race to watch. It's also the one where you have your long shot. And again, it's funny. We both have the 12s as long shots, and we both don't have the other guy's 12.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? It shows that their races are pretty darn wide open. I'll tell you that right now. So,
indeed. Fire away with why you like the 12 as your long shot.
Okay, yeah, plain talk. He won his last race at Canterbury Park. The trainer wins 30% of the non-graded stake races he has an entry in, and he has a good workout on June 12th. Then I like number 3, Mark of the Z. He has finished in the money in 9 out of the last 10 races and won 2 of those. Then number 4, 7 Cents. He finished 3rd in his last race at Pimlico and winning the race before that at Kingland. So I think this is a move where he's kind of going down against some competition here. So number 2, XY Speed. He has won 9 out of his 23 career races. So he likes to win.
So between us, we have 8 picks, and it looks like we agree on 1.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of race this one is. All right, so taking a look at my thinking here, again, I feel like there's just a ton of speed in this race, and the early fractions are all similar. I think there's going to be I think this race is going to be interesting to watch. So for me, I feel like if you're going to go speed on the outside, you got to go with the speed of the speed. And to me, that's the 11 horse Chessmaster. And if you look at across his past performances, he does have some black type of some of these other horses behind him. So he's beaten some of these. He's won 3 of 5 at Canterbury Downs, 10 of 21 at the distance. So you know that Chessmaster is going to give you an even effort at this distance and has a really good shot to win. XY Speed usually breaks really sharply, and he's usually right around the pace. I don't think he's going to have to be on the lead, but I do think that he's going to be able to get to the rail because I don't suspect he'll have any problem whatsoever clearing the 1 horse. But he's going to have to get in front of that one because otherwise he might get lost in the shuffle with all that outside speed trying to rush up by him. Number 7, On Your Mark, get set and go. There's going to be plenty of giddy up and go, as I mentioned at the start of this race. Somebody is going to come from behind, and I think On Your Mark might be the one in this field that gets the ideal trip, sitting right off that pace, picking where it wants to go, and then running right by everybody at the end. And then my final choice in this race, and I could probably have about another 4 like you, Terry. Spycraft. I really want to rank some of these outside horses like Spycraft, like Plain Talk, higher up on the rankings. But with all that speed to the inside, it worries me out a little bit. And I just feel like Spycraft, the 13, has been running against tougher competition and better races than the next couple of choices, 7 Cents and Plain Talk. So that's my box it up. Let me pull that up on the screen real quick. I forgot to do that, Terry. It says this race was just really intriguing to me together. There you go. 11, 2, 7, and 13. That's my $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box, Terry. That's going to be a very interesting race, and it's also the one that cleans up the early pick 4. And there you go. I did something that I've never really done before. I'm going single early on, and then I'm going to go deep on those back ends because it's crystal clear to me that those 2 races are wide open. You agree as well, Terry, except you just went a little bit different in the top end.
I figured that in that second race, that 5's going to win unless something really major happens to stop it. So that's why I did that. I was a little bit suspect in that first leg, but then I wanted to kind of spread out in the last 2. I would have liked to spread out a little more, but that's where we're at. So anyway,
yeah, with our hot dog budget, Terry, that the tyrant limits us to, you got to make choices. So after reading it, I feel like the 5 is, like I said, the most logical choice on the card. And then that 4 horse coming off the drop. So I'm going to go single. If I catch that 4 in the first race, I'm going to feel very good, especially if the 5 wins the second race.
You'll be in good shape. That's for
Indeed.
sure.
I'll be happy about that. Tonight, we'll have another fantastic guest on the Players Edge podcast. That's going to be, let me pull up the screen here. That's going to be Ademar Santos. If you want to make sure you check in, if you have any questions for Ademar, or Sean or myself, or we're also going to have our Lone Star Clocker report with superstar clocker down there, Erica. So make sure you tune in for that. 8 o'clock. She's giving out some really nice picks so far based upon what she's seen, especially with the youngsters that you might not see on the track before. So again, that starts at 8 p.m. tonight. And the best way to do that, Terry, is to do what?
Well, it's to subscribe to YouTube and hit the bell to be notified, and so then you'll know when it's going to start. Also, you can give us a thumbs up on Facebook, Instagram at Horse Race 2 Day, and that's the number 2 day. So I don't hear you.
Follow us on our social sites. You see them on the scroll bar down there before. We've never had to do this mute thing before, but all of a sudden we both started echoing, like when both of our microphones were open. I don't know why that is. Maybe somebody out there with a little bit of technical background can help us with that so we can figure out how to stop it. But yes, while you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you like what you see, tell your friends about us that like horse racing. We appreciate that. Word of mouth is always the best. And again, we thank you for joining us today. Hopefully we reward you in this very tough card. Race number 5, Terry, is 6.5 furlongs. It is the MTA Stallion Auction Stakes for $60,000. A 6.5 furlong race so far at Canterbury Downs. 17 of them, 11 won by speed, 3 went wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias, a discount 4 through 7. Take us through race 5, my friend.
All right. I like number 4, Royal's Little Diva. He won his last race at Canterbury Park, has a highest last speed rating, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 3, Color Me Legendary. He won his debut race at Canterbury Park. Was well bet in that debut, and the trainer-jockey combination the last 14 days have won 2 out of 5. And then number 5, Queen's Cabero. He won, let me see, are these girls or boys?
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, well, whether it's a girl or boy, they won their last 3 races in a row and has a bullet workout. And then number 7, Bell Out Kila. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races.
I think maybe Royal's Little Diva might be the second most likely winner on the card today behind the 5-horse, but coming off of that maiden win, so you're just not 100% sure. It was the debut. It also was the top last race speed figure. So I think a repeat performance is a repeat visit to the winner's circle. Number 2, Ojitos is taking a drop in class, a track drop from Oak Lawn Park. Won her debut, so these are girls, Terry, at Oak Lawn Park with the maiden special weight, $84,000, by far the highest level for any horse to take home that first prize. Also tells you that can run well off the bench. Number 3, Color Me Legendary, probably a good idea, especially when I'm in purple. The Horse Racing Today gear in purple. Hit the HRT gear link while you're on the horseracingtoday.net site and help support the show. We appreciate those of you who have already bought your gear. And you're going to be a Superfly guy or girl if you have it on. Just ask Jamie Martinez. Number 3, Color. What's that?
I'm just going to say, actually, they're a mixture of girls and boys, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, that one was a girl anyway. Color Me Legendary is another debut winner last time out. Fractions are similar to the top pick, but had to work much harder than Royal's Little Diva did. And then finally, Queen's Caballo. So it's the Queen's horse. Was running in lower level non-graded stakes at Fawner Park. Does have a swift workout in between races. So maybe you'll see some improvement there, but I really think that's going to come down to, I think the 4-horse can make easy work of this field if it just runs back to its debut. Race number 6 is 1 mile back to the turf. I think they're going to have, is this where the pick 5 starts? Yes, the giant pick 5. It's $100,000 guaranteed. So we didn't do the pick 5. We did the hot dog and the prime rib pick 4s coming up, but I think you're going to need a lot of money if you're going to do a pick 5 anyway, based upon some of these fields, Terry. So 1 mile on the turf, as we mentioned, pay attention to that early race at a mile on the turf. So far, there have been 24 of them. A little bit more than half were won from off the pace. 5 did go wire to wire. There's a strong inside 3 and a strong outside bias. So pay attention to that. We have some agreement here today, Terry, on this race, despite the fact that it's got some really good horses in it.
That's true. So let me start out with, in this race, I like the number 7. She can't sing. She has won 3 races in a row now, and she has the highest last race speed rating. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 8, Serana, well, whatever. She finished in 4th in her last race and has a bullet workout. Number 2, Blank Pink Princess. She won her last race at Belmont Park and has a second in her only start at Canterbury Park. And then number 9, Swaji. Boy, these horses' names, I can't pronounce them. Anyway, she likes the turf and
just name it whatever you want, Terry. It doesn't matter.
I think I will, yeah. She likes the turf and the distance and has won 1 race out of the last 3, finishing in the money in the other 2.
So nobody really cares about the name, maybe except for the owner or the person that it's named after. People just worry about the number and does it get to the finish line first, right?
That's true.
Jared's looking back at race number 5. He says he likes the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 5. And then in race number 8, he's all over 6. He's all over the 8-horse with the 6, the 8, the 2, the 1, and the 3. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. Probably Jared haven't looked at it too much, Canterbury. So it's a great card today. So you want to make sure you check that out. I think it's going to probably have a lot. It should have decent money pools. So if a 16-1 comes in as a place horse, you're going to actually get paid for it. I agree with you, Jared, in race number 6. I am going to start with the 8-horse as well. Sayonara, who is going to say sayonara to the rest of the field. Won her only trip on the Canterbury turf. Nice workouts getting ready for this spot. Does have the top late pace numbers in this field by a little bit. And Charles, like you had mentioned, horses that should be close to the front with late pace is the way you're going to look today. Sayonara fits that bill. Number 7, she can't sing, but Terry can. So Terry, let's hear a few verses.
Hello.
It's me, Lionel Richie. There you go, Terry. She Can't Sing has the second most late punch behind Sayonara. Drops from a graded 3 stakes level race. Some fast workouts coming into this spot, but the concern is that 1 mile for She Can't Sing might not be long enough. Looks like she's done most of her best work at like a mile and a 16th and beyond. Number 2, Amalfi Princess. Just missed last year when the 2 teamed up in the race at Canterbury Downs, both of them, Canterbury Park. It's both the only time that either one of them's run over the grass trip over there. So this one's making its third race off of a layoff, and she ran faster fractions last time out at 6 furlongs than she did at 5.5 furlongs. And I noticed a lot of times in my comments, when horses, I note that they have better fractions from race to race, those horses tend to show up well the next time out. And then finally, there's a lot of stuff going on for this last pick in here. A lot of horses to pick from. I went with number 4, Beach Flower. It's a 9-year-old mare, so she might show up, she might not show up. But when you look at her work, her resume, the Canterbury Park has been where she's done best in the money 8 out of 13 times. So maybe that back end horse is the one to look out for. I think the 3 is worth the play at 15-1 in the 6 horse in race number 6. That angle didn't help, but Churchill in race 5 closer got it. Well, maybe was Churchill grass or was it turf? I mean, a dirt race. Race number 7, Terry, is another one of these mile ones. It is the Mystic Lake Mile, purse of $100,000. Again, come off the pace, inside-outside bias. This time around, Terry, we like some of the same horses. We like the same 4 horses, just in a little bit different order.
That's correct. Yeah, you're right about that. So I like number 7, Tut's Revenge, as my first pick. He won his last race at Canterbury Park. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then number 6, Mr. Dumas. He finished in the money in all of the last 6 races, winning one of the starts, and has a good workout. Number 9, Drama Chorus, is my third pick. He ran second on dirt in his last race and has a trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days has been in the money 3 out of 6 times, winning 2 of those. And then my fourth pick is number 4, 2 Emmys. He has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to high percentage winning jockey, drops in class today, and the trainer wins 30% of the non-graded stakes he has an entry in.
I like Drama Chorus as my top choice. This guy loves some Canterbury Park. Been on that grass course 7 times, took home the top prize in 4, collected the second place check in 2 more. Also a big fan of the distance, out 6 times, taking home the top check in 2 of the 6, but also ran second 3 times. I think this one's going to sit right behind a really hot pace and then has the late pace numbers to run by all of the ones that want to be up front. Number 7, Tut's Revenge, never missed the money in 10 starts at the distance, so 10 for 10, been in the exacta trifecta or took home the top check. Did run the top last race speed figure, but it was a peak number because I initially had Tut's Revenge rated first. Then I looked back at the last few times that the horse put in a peak number, and it did regress a little bit the next time out. Number 4, 2 Emmys. This one's been facing tougher than most of the others in here, as you mentioned, Terry, dropping from a grade 3. But if you look through the horse's wins, you'll see that it needs the lead to win. And I think it's going to struggle to get that lead because it's going to have plenty of company up front. One of those horses that's likely to keep it company is number 6, Mr. Dumas. And our good friend at the show, John Ortiz, he's the trainer here. And I think John's going to have his horse positioned to run a very great trip as well. Probably sit right behind number 9, Drama Course, and the 2 of them try to run by everybody at the end. That's the way I see that race playing. I think a lot of these races are really tough, right? It was dirt. Yeah, Churchill Downs. Let's see. No, just to chat usual. Yeah. Do you see him on the screen, Sean? Jared, come on, man. You believe what your eyes are showing you, brother. Race number 8 is another one of these mile turf races. It is the Mystic Lake Derby, Terry. It's for a purse of $150,000. So it's the biggest race on the card today. And once again, we have a little bit of agreement, but not a whole lot of agreement. What do you like the 8 horse for?
All right. I like the 8 because Stitched, he won his last race and has a good 4 furlong workout on June 13th. And then number 11, Ben's Malice, my second pick, finished in the money in 6 of his last 6 races. He won 2 of those starts. And number 4, Tonka Warrior. He won his last race at Canterbury Park. The breeding suggests he'll like grass, and as the dam has produced 2 turf winners. And then I like as my 4th pick, number 2, Next Journey. He ran second in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer, or jockey, I mean.
To me, this is another one of these races where I think you can pull, probably put half the field, maybe more, names in hats and then pull them out and have some success too. I'm going to start with number 11, Ben's Malice. When you look at the field again, there's a lot of comparable horses. So I'm looking for a horse that has the biggest edge over the rest of the field. Ben's Malice has the biggest edge over the field with the late pace numbers. Also, a big fan of the turf course at Canterbury Downs. Been on it 2 times. Terry, how many wins does he have? 2. And I expect the horse to be better in the second round off the layoff. Always close at the end. So I think you're going to get a call as they come to the wire. The question is, does he get the photo? Doesn't he get the photo? Number 5, Mr. Magoo. Just Magoo. Did run the top last race. Speed figure last time out. It's a combination of Lindy Wade and trainer Robertson McLean, who are dominant up there at Canterbury Downs, winning at 30% together. Number 8, Stitched, is undefeated in 4 races at the distance. This is another one that needs to lead like 2 Emmys, and with all the pace in this race, might struggle to get it. But if Stitch does get the lead, it could take them wire to wire, though I think it's going to be pressured up front. And number 6, I don't even know, Dogawagik Chief. This one has the top pedigree, the run on the turf at the distance. But he's an all-or-nothing horse, Terry. He's either going to win this thing or finish out of the money altogether, which is why I did not put this race as my box it up, because I want all my horses to have a chance. Jared says, pick 5. There you go. Late pick 5. He's got 1, 5, 6, 13, 2, 4, 7, 11. The 8 horse, all right. 2, 6, 7, and 10. 11, 7, 10. There's your late pick 5 at Canterbury Park. And remember that it is a $100,000 guaranteed, right? It's races 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's the one. That's races 3, 5, 3, 4. That's the $100,000 guaranteed one. Yeah, it is, because it starts with the turf race. So remember that. Race 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 3, 4, 6. So 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 is the pick 5. They're skipping a race in that, Jared. They're skipping the 5 race. Is that what you're saying? All right. So it's a really kind of a weird pick 5 then overall. Terry, I know that we'd like to have some singles today in our bets as well. It's going to be a tough day, but one of the places you might have a single is at Delaware Park, where you have your best bet today in race number 6. And I know our friend from Turkey was looking for some advice on Delaware Park. So what advice do you have?
Well, I like the number 2 Bandits Warrior in the 6th race at Delaware. She won her last race at Laurel Park. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 3 out of 3 starts. So they're perfect. Number 1, Mama's G-Wish. She won her last race at Delaware Park. The Rail Post is winning at a 24% clip. And the jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 21 starts and 6 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. Then I like number 5, Cashing Big Checks. She is a closer coming in from Laurel Park and is trained by John Robb, who is winning at this meet at a 50% clip. Mm-hmm. And my first pick yesterday at Presque Isle Downs actually ran second, paid $3 to place and $2.60 to show.
All right. Presque Isle Downs. Speaking of Presque Isle Downs today, Terry, it is our free track today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Timothy Murray asked us if we were going to do Presque Isle Downs today, and I promised I would make it the free track over there. So if you're going to do some Presque Isle Downs, you're going to bet on Timothy Murray's horse, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description here in YouTube and in our Facebook post. So make sure you use that so they know where you're coming from. Up 10% today. All right, good. Oh, you're talking about Bitcoin? I told you, Jared. I picked the bottom. And again, just to kind of backdrop on that story, was watching the horse races on Saturday, I think it was, and the God, I can't remember his name, man. I hate getting old, Terry. He's been on our show a couple times. Help me out, Terry. What's his name? Anyway, they were talking about the Bitcoin and how horrible it was. So I texted Jared and said, buy it right now, because if the guys on TVG are saying how horrible Bitcoin is, you know it's at a bottom. And what's it up? Like 30% since then, Jared? That's actually kind of funny. All right, Terry, I brought up your best bet at Delaware Park today because in race number 9 at Canterbury Downs, it is your best bet of the day. This is a 6 furlong claiming 15,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. So tell us why you think the 4 horse in here over the 5, over the other 4 of those other 2 horses that look like logical winners, why you feel like the 4 horse here is the one to get the job done.
Well, he stitched. He won his last race at and has a good 4 furlong workout on June 13th. And then number 11, Ben's Malice. He finished in the money 6 of the last 6 races and won 2 of those starts. I think I've already read this in the last race, but anyway, number 4, Tonka's Warrior, won his last race at Canterbury Park. Breeding suggests he'll like the grass. Yeah.
Are you in race number 9 or race number 8? We're in race 9 now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong race.
Mm-hmm.
So I like number 4, Devoted to You. Okay, now I know where I'm at.
Yes, indeed.
He finished in the money in his last 6 races, and he won 1 of those starts. And he has a trainer and jockey combination who's won 6 out of 18 races and actually finished in the money 15 times. Then number 3, Westa Waverly. He has a high percentage winning trainer, drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best third speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 6, Mark of Valor. He won his last race at Canterbury Park, has a jockey who in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11 races. Then I like number 2, Overseas Letter. He was claimed in his last race by a trainer who wins 20% of the time in the first race after claiming a horse. And I apologize for that mistake. I've kind of been
You paying attention to a contest again today, Terry?
No, it's I can't get over this darn sinus infection, and then losing all my work yesterday. I had to really work fast to get it done last night late, so I'm kind of tired today. So.
That's understandable. So Yabon, if you go to guaranteedtipsheet.com, you'll see that the Delaware Park picks are there, so you can pick them up. Terry's best bet for race number 6 is at Delaware Park. You can find that over at horseracingtoday.net. Make sure you come back tomorrow, Yabon, because we will 100% be doing Delaware Park tomorrow. Jared said good closing and on 2,900 level ounce. Are you talking about gold? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, gold. Well, inflation, gold is always a good thing to do when inflation is roaring. I don't think the inflation thing is over yet, but they're going to keep raising rates eventually. I think it took Volcker like almost a year and a half, 2 years to get inflation under control. And it's worse now than it was back then. If you use the same measuring stick, because they've changed the measuring stick since the 70s. So we'll see. Hopefully hopefully they can tackle this one faster, but we're heading into a recession, raising rates. I don't know if that's necessarily the best combination of things, but hopefully this is the best combinations of horses. Number 4, Devoted to You. Improved noticeably in the only other second start after a layoff, Terry. Last time was good enough because you know what? It was the top last race speed figure in the field. Number 8, Gonna Lil Luhu. When you look at this field, a lot of these horses have very similar fractions, very similar pace numbers early on. And this one included in that, but does have a strong late pace advantage over the rest of this field. The only thing a lot of people I think are going to overlook the 8 horse because it's been off for a long time. But the last time it was off for like 6 months or more, it came back to win. So hopefully it can repeat that cycle. Number 3, Westa Waverly is taking a big drop in class. The last race looks awful on paper, but it wasn't that bad because the early part of the race, the fractions were in line with its other races, but did tail off badly at the end. I'm a little nervous about that horse too, because the last time it had kind of a really crappy back half of a race, blew a tire. It didn't follow it up with a rebound. It followed it up with another poor performance, but not a lot of horses in this field to really be really happy about. And then finally, number 1, JJ's Wildcat. Last time out, came off the bench to run in the mud, so you can take that one, toss it in the garbage. You look at the horse on a fast track, which is going to get tonight, 8 out of 10 in the money. And at the distance, ran 5 times, doesn't like to win, only once, loves to run third, so why not put it 4th? Because it has 3 thirds at the distance. So 4 out of 5 in the money, 8 out of 10 on a fast track. I think the 1 horse might be a nice little price for you there. Last race of the day, Terry, race number 10 on this really nice evening of racing at Canterbury Downs. 6.5 furlongs, claiming a $10,000. 6.5 furlongs, quick recap, 17 races, 11 of which were won by speed. 3 went wire to wire. It is the inside 3. Bias and 4 through 7 underperforms. Of course, I start with all the 4 through 7 horses. You like the 2 horse in here temporarily to close the day.
I do. I like Temporary because she won her last race at Canterbury Park, and she has a best highest last speed rating. And then I like number 7, Outwork the Okie Girl. She has a high percentage winning jockey and drops in class today. And then I like number 4, Milligan Mike and Me. Millie, Mike, and Me, well, whatever. She finished second in her last race at Canterbury Park. And I like number 5, Speedy Enough. She finished third in her last race, and the trainer wins 28% of the time when bringing a horse up 2 classes. So he thinks pretty highly of this horse.
Indeed. Yeah, Charles, I'm afraid I think the market crash, yeah, I don't know if it's over or not yet. Nice rebound in here, but bear market rallies are very strong and they tend to be swift and move upwards. I think you could see maybe a 10% rise in the market from the bottom. It's what happens after that I think is going to be the key there. I don't think the economy's on solid footing at all at the moment. Consumers are pulling back. I live by one of the most dominant and one of the most the Target right outside my home here, just a couple blocks away, is the number one Target I think in the country. It might have dropped since then because they opened another one just a few blocks away. That's how. But the parking lot used to be packed, and now you can find a parking spot. So, those are some things that you can see with your own eyes that tell you things aren't as good, and the shelves are kind of empty. I think we would be a little bit more trouble before we come out. Number 6 for me, hopefully doesn't run any trouble in race number 10, Terry. Full Speed Asterin. This one's dropping in class, making its second start for trainer Michael Boulain. It's a 29% angle, but he's over on the second time after a claim. So we'll see what happens. One of those has to win out. Your top pick Temporarily did run the top last race speed figure in its first try on Canterbury Dirt last time out, but it wasn't maiden claiming $10,000 race. And Terry, I'm not a big fan of those maiden claimers coming up next time out to win. Number 5, Speedy Enough, did show more in the last race. Enough that trainer David Van Winkle bumping him up a couple of classes. That is a 29% move for a trainer who wins at 21% overall. So I call that an alpha angle. And then finally, Outwork the Okie Girl. Has the top early pace, late pace combination in the field, but I'm a little bit concerned about the regression that I saw in the last race, which was the first race following the maiden win, for sure. Let's see, what do we have here? Jared saying, no, he thinks that, Carl, I do this for a living. He knows because you're in the credit business, right? Retail is bad. Yeah, car prices up 66%, semiconductor shortages. Another person that we talked to is in the retail business too, and he's in like that Family Dollar discount store business. And whenever things are about to turn sour, they say the business booms, and he said business is really strong. So hopefully they're all wrong, because we all need a good economy, no matter which side you are on the political aisle. We all want things to go well because it impacts all of us, and none of us get to make any decisions. We just have to live with them, which sucks, right? It's not the way it's supposed to be. All right, that is the last race of the day, Terry. It also brings up our prime rib pick 4s. And your prime rib pick 4 is like the upside down version of my hot dog pick 4.
It is. I think those 2 races to start with are really wide open. So I packed as many horses in there as I could, and then I went with 2 and 2. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I hope, Charles, we're wrong too, man. But it just doesn't look good right now. I agree with you. We're not getting a good economy no matter who their president is right now. Hopefully that gets changed, though. That, we'll see what happens. I don't really want to get too much into politics. I just want to stick with the numbers, and the numbers don't look good at the moment. I do expect, though, what goes up comes down, and what goes down goes up, right, eventually. So there'll be a bottom, and then we'll rebound. Let's just hope the rebound is closer than Jared and I expect. All right, here is our full race of cards at Canterbury Downs, starting a little bit later on. Terry's best bet is in race number 9. Mine is in race number 2. I'm taking a long shot in race number 13. Terry's taking a long shot. Race number 3. Terry's taking it in number 4. Interestingly, both number 12s, and interesting, neither one of us has it on our tickets. The other guy's 12, so maybe we can get there. Our box it ups, Terry, are in races number 2 for you and number 4 for me. Our hot dog pick 4 to start out the day, I have a very interesting ticket that looks like Terry's prime rib. I'm going to single 4 and 5 to get started. I'm going to be living on the horse player's edge in races number 1 and 2, and then Smiling Pretty. You know what's going to happen, Terry? The 4 and the 5 are going to hit, and then I'm going to get the shortest prices in the next 2 legs, and it's going to pay like $8. And then the prime rib pick 4s look like this to close out the day. And then, of course, Jared was kind enough to share with us his pick 5 for the day. Let's go back and look at Jared's pick 5, see if I can find that real quick. And here it is. And again, you got to remember the pick 5 is in a goofball races 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. So Jared's starting with the 1, 5, 6, 13 in race 3. Race number 4, the 2, 4, 7, and 11. Race number 6, soloing the 8. Race number 7, 2, 6, 7, 10. And then race number 8, the 11, the 7, and the 10 is Jared's pick 5. And again, that pick 5, Terry, is a guaranteed $100,000.
All right, I have one little correction. My pick 4 is $98, not 96. So
I didn't double check your math today, Terry.
That's right.
Or maybe I didn't look at it correctly, but either way,
I think that's the
I'll take the blame. It's my fault. Yeah, it's always my fault. All right. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I get better from this darn sinus infection and that we don't lose power today. But I hope everybody does well, including Jared and Charles and who was the other person there?
We also have Mike Wallace, a couple of other people who showed to join us today. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks for the comments. We appreciate them. Yashin joined us too from Turkey, looking for Delaware Park picks. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, to do Delaware Park. So make sure you tune in from Turkey for that. And then tonight, again, we'll have another great show, Sean and I, for Horse Center. Make sure you tune in for that. Erica's going to come in with her Lone Star Clockers report. Always some great information in that. Tomorrow night, we might have a surprise Horse Center. We'll keep an eye on our social sites, Horse Race, the number 2 day at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, because there might be an announcement on that shortly. We will 100% have TD Houghton on tomorrow night as we go over the Ohio Derby and the big races this weekend at Thistle Downs. Tom and I will be back a little early on Friday to do the Curragh for Foreign Fridays. And then, of course, our ADC and Chris Parmalu will be back on Saturday morning to do show number 2, which will be better off the layoff. And that is Spot Plays. All right, Terry. That's it, man.
I know it is. Good
Any
day.
final hump day thoughts?
Yeah, just go and tell your loved ones that you love them, and just be be a decent person this week, and hopefully everything in
Next
your life.
week you could be a complete butthole if you want, but this week
if
you
you
better
want.
be a good guy.
I don't like the buttholes, but anyway, just be a nice guy. So,
All right.
or girl.
Want to say thanks to Jay Marco, Eric Verboken, Mike Wallace, and Laura Feldman for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you like it as they did, please give us a thumbs up. Help us with our ratios on Facebook, on Instagram, retweet, tell your friends. We appreciate that. But most importantly, Terry, we hope that no matter what you do today, no matter where you're betting today, and certainly we hope that the economy ends up in the
winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you later on tonight.